Our next item is an updated on progress related to our strategic plan, Destination 2025, and Dr. Hinton will get us started with that.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Cashwell. This afternoon, I'd like to give you an update on the progress of our strategic plan, Destination 2025. The Strategic Plan Steering Committee includes 22 members representing each magisterial district. They are a diverse group representing a wide range of stakeholders, including students, school-based staff, central office staff, members of the leadership team, and school board representatives. Ms. Shea and Ms. Kinsella have served on this committee for many years, and I'd like to thank you for your service and support of this work. You have been actively involved with this group, and we appreciate your time and dedication. The steering committee meeting was held on March 22nd. During the meeting, division leaders presented small groups with updates on each of the strategic goals. They shared progress on the implementation drivers and the work underway. The committee was divided into 6 small groups and were able to participate in discussion on each goal through a round-robin format. At the conclusion of the goal overview, committee members provided feedback for consideration as we begin to reimagine our strategic plan beyond 2025. At this time, I'd like to highlight some of the feedback received. For our first goal of academic excellence, the committee praised the efforts that have been taken to strengthen our instructional supports and curriculum. Specifically, they highlighted the instructional model and the consistency that framework will bring to the learning experiences of students. They also praised the school quality plans and ongoing supports being provided to ensure all schools are working towards continuous improvement. An objective of the strategic plan is to ensure students have literacy and numeracy skills for academics and life. Towards this objective, the committee praised the development and implementation of division-wide literacy and numeracy plans and ongoing professional learning opportunities. Through their discussion, the committee also provided suggestions for additional steps that could be taken towards each goal. In support of academic excellence, the committee encouraged the division to focus on offering a variety of learning opportunities aligned with the Henrico learner profile to ensure these opportunities are available to all students. Some specific suggestions included blended learning experiences, performance tasks, and hands-on relevant learning opportunities similar to those embedded through our career and technical programs, but may not always be integrated within core content curriculum. The committee also stressed the importance of consistency in instructional practices across all schools and encouraged the division to continue streamlining and updating processes towards this effort. In regards to professional learning opportunities, the committee suggested that more professional development may be helpful for teachers, specifically focused on using best practice to teach diverse student populations, and they support continuing to expand teacher coaching efforts. Towards the goal of providing an inclusive, safe, and supportive climate, the committee praised the division's heightened focus on student and staff wellness and the professional development opportunities, such as the trauma-informed educator microcredential. They encouraged the division to continue to seek ways to increase time and resources for social emotional learning and relationship building, such as more school counseling staff and professional development on integrating SEL into inclusive practices within content teaching. They also support partnerships with outside mental health care providers to provide additional services to students and staff. The committee praised the annual trauma-informed practices training for staff and feel that educators would benefit from additional guidance on communicating and supporting students and families who may experience trauma. Lastly, a suggestion from the committee was to expand student programs that promote student belonging, such as the high school equity ambassadors and the middle school belonging builders, particularly to the elementary level. As you heard in their February update, the recruitment and retention of staff continues to be a priority. The steering committee praised the recent announcement of monetary staff retention efforts, including salary increases, minimal healthcare cost increases, and the Opportunity School Initiative. They hope to see these efforts continue by exploring additional funding for tuition reimbursement, long-term expansion of opportunity schools, and potential relocation incentives. They also praised the career ladder and micro-credential opportunities that provide additional compensation to staff for participating in specialized training. They were very excited about the potential of the pending provisionally licensed teacher cohort initiative, which will fully fund the 6 required licensure courses to eligible provisional teachers through iTeach, while also providing internal support through in-person professional learning. iTeach is an online program that provides an alternative pathway to teacher licensure. To further support recruitment efforts, the committee suggested that the school division develop a marketing campaign highlighting the overall organizational culture to attract new applicants. Additionally, marketing strategies could target recruitment for specific schools by sharing stories of success and highlighting achievement. Lastly, to retain staff, the committee would like the division to consider ways to provide more professional development time during the school day. Staff shared that they appreciate the dedicated time embedded during the day to focus on learning new strategies, content, and skills. In May, you will receive a comprehensive update on the strategic goal of collaborative partnerships, which will highlight many of the efforts discussed by the steering committee. When they received an overview of this goal, the committee praised the school division's first full-service community school hub, the Oak, which provides a one-stop shop where students and families can connect with organizations providing the services they need. The committee also expressed support for expanded school community partnerships and resources, including community liaisons, increased faith-based partners, and family events. They suggested utilizing the revamped partnership forum to develop a database of partnership resources. The committee continues to value workforce and career development and applauds the partnership with CTE programming and local businesses. One example of these partnerships is the Adult Education Center at Regency. This project has allowed our students to participate in a commercial environment while working side by side with some of our business and community partners. Students have had the opportunity to work on various projects, including drywall, framing, installation of sprinkler systems, electricity, and many others. What started as approximately 4,800 square feet of storefronts has been converted by our students into individual classrooms for our adult education programs. The committee would like to see these types of opportunities for career exploration starting as early as elementary school to help students find their passions and interests. Overall, communication efforts were also acknowledged by the committee. They expressed appreciation for division-wide communications, such as the binder and the clipboard, that help keep families and staff informed about important information and upcoming events. The Equity and Opportunity Department has led our progress towards our goal to leverage our strength of diversity and lead dialogue to ensure equity and access for all. The committee praised the variety of student programs offered that elevate student voice, such as the Equity Ambassadors and Becoming Kings. They would like to see these programs expanded to additional schools and students. They also commended the culturally responsive education model training that has been provided to over 1,200 staff, which focuses on creating a culture of belonging, restorative language, and content integration. They shared that this training has led to a common language of equity and diversity throughout HCPS. The Cultural Heritage Series was also a highlight of the discussion. This series was designed to provide a particular focus on the cultural heritage months that represent the diversity of HCPS. The Cultural Heritage Series events have garnered engagement from over 1,000 participants. The committee praised these events and encouraged staff to continue to communicate these opportunities. For next steps, the committee recommended continuing to expand programs and partnership opportunities in support of this goal. As we strive to provide equitable and secure physical learning environments, the committee praised the implementation of Securely and recommends continuing to communicate this resource to families. Securely is a powerful new tool that improves how students are protected when using school-issued digital devices and offers parents and guardians a way to monitor their child's online activity. The committee also praised the evaluation process that was implemented for the first time in 2018 for making decisions regarding building improvements. Through this new process, facilities being considered for improvements now undergo a cost analysis to determine whether renovations or new construction would be most cost-effective in the long range. Commendations were also given for school safety, including the anonymous alert system and the exploration of additional security measures. As you know, HCPS has recently undergone comprehensive field testing of metal and weapon detectors, and the findings from the field tests will be used to determine what additional safety measures could enhance school security moving forward. Recommendations related to school safety included continuing to inform students about the anonymous alert system, option for reporting safety concerns, and expanding security camera system enhancements to elementary schools. Lastly, safety is a cornerstone of the strategic plan, and the division has implemented many strategies to ensure students, families, and visitors feel safe and connected to our schools. The committee recommended continuing communication efforts to inform stakeholders about the safety resources in place and crisis procedures, including providing this information in multiple languages. We appreciate the thoughtful work of the Strategic Plan Steering Committee and would like to thank them for their continued support. They offer a variety of perspectives and input that keep our strategic plan relevant and focused on the pressing needs of our community. For next steps, following the timeline presented earlier this fall, in June, we'll provide an overview of the results from our HCPS surveys conducted in March, which are a key metric in measuring progress on many of our goals. The survey data, coupled with the steering committee's recommendations and feedback, as well as key performance metric data, will be used to refine next steps towards our strategic goals. And at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hinton. I'll start with Mrs. Shea. Any questions or comments?
Thank you so much. No questions for me at this time. I know, as you shared, Ms. Kinsella and I have worked on this committee since actually before either of us were on the board, and have really enjoyed the work. I'll say one highlight for me really on the long afternoon we worked together was having one of our students from Henrico High School at my table and getting to hear just his very candid but respectful and professional feedback about how he has seen these things impact him in his own school and ideas for change. You know, it's just, as we all know, our students are just such a wealth of knowledge, and giving them a seat at that a literal seat at that table for this discussion was just so fruitful. So thank you for your team's effort to very intentionally include a wide variety of stakeholders at the table. There was also a parent at the table. It was great to hear from her, as well as different staff from different parts of the county and different roles. So thank you for your team's work in making sure we truly have a variety of stakeholder voice in this.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Shea. Ms. Ogburn.
I'll just be quick, but I want to thank Mrs. Kinsella and Mrs. Shea for sitting on that committee, and because it's a labor of love. This is it's not glamorous or exciting, but we need our thinking outside of the box type people to be there, and y'all have been doing that for a while now. One of the things, just a quick comment, I really like the inclusion of consistency across all schools. That is something I think should be always at our forefront, because all students wherever they live in the county, should have access to the opportunities that are out there for our students. And those learning opportunities are something they won't get again. So I really am, I think we continue to say that and stress it. Also, really pleased to see our plans for recruitment. Obviously, we talk about this all the time, that our recruiting and retaining our teachers and our staff members is, so it's top of mind, and I like the idea of the marketing campaign. We've got to change the narrative from the negative of, why people are leaving to why people are staying, because we have more people staying, and we need to get that out there and really stress that working with children, it is a labor of love, and there's nothing better than having that kid look at you and say, I get it, and you helped change my life. And we need that to make it a good thing again and to change that. I am glad to see all of the different ideas and just encourage the whole staff to continue, like I said, think out of the box to keep us moving forward. We talk about the strategic plan all the time. It is not anymore a document that sits on a shelf gathering dust, and I'm glad to see that. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ogburn. Ms. Atkins.
I concur with thanking you, Mrs. Kinsella and Mrs. Shea, for being on the steering committee, your work and the team's work. It is certainly promising to see a HCPS graduate, Hunter Ford, I saw in your picture, and Mrs. Shea, I don't know if that was the individual you were referencing, but he's a very astute young man. When I was over at Mayford, he was in the after-school program, so it also shows my age. But so it really was wonderful to see him in your photos. It also reflects on the importance of diversity, not just in gender, but in age. And it's helpful to get those ideas as well. The other area that I was happy to see is professional development on opportunities on teaching diverse populations. We need that, and I'm glad that there's going to be more focus in that space across Henrico County, along with implementing curriculum fairly. I'm glad to see a little bit of that in this presentation as well, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Atkins. Reverend Cooper.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Basically, Dr. Hinton, I want to just say thank you to you and your staff and concur with the comments concerning our chair, Chair Kinsella and Ms. Shea, for their participation and their active involvement with this committee, and our entire strategic plan, Destination 2020 Steering Committee, for their thoughtfulness, dedication, and hard work. And I look forward to the receiving results from the HCPS survey in June. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Cooper. And I'll just start out by saying that was on my sheet too, survey data. I can't wait, not only as a board member, but as a mom, as a member of this committee, certainly. It will help guide the work. So thank you for including that as part of it. I think one of the most important things, and I believe Mrs. Shea has mentioned this before, but I want to repeat it, as to Ms. Ogburn's excitement that this doesn't just sit on a shelf. We use it. As someone in the room said, we actually use it. We follow it, we measure it, we adjust it as necessary to ensure student success. So I think that's really special. I know we've heard from colleagues around the state when we go to conference about the fact of our strategic plan and the fact that we actually follow it and the work that we do on it. So really, thank you, Dr. Hinton, for leading the team, you and your team leading this work. And I would just like to say the hands-on experiences, not just in our CTE world, but also in our comprehensive high schools, elementary school, middle school. I have to say, shadowing the students and doing a learning expo yesterday at Hermitage High School. The learning expo yesterday, actually, it was students engaging students, teaching them about their projects. And that's exactly what the students said. I was like, what do you love about this experience? And they said it was engaging, it was hands-on. So we're on the right track, I'm certain, with the steering committee work. If you could just highlight briefly just the timeline, like this is just the beginning, right? For looking at where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. If you could just say something brief, because I don't want folks to think that, we're doing this work with only a team of 22.
So throughout the year, we give you updates on the strategic plan work. And sometimes, like I mentioned, back in February, we did a very intensive presentation on our recruitment and retention efforts. So throughout the school year, we provide updates on our strategic plan. It is not a one and done event, that is for sure. So as we mentioned, in June, we'll come back with our survey results, and then our teams will work over the summer to incorporate the feedback from all of these different components to figure out, are there other things that we need to do to modify our plans moving forward? And then we'll provide an update in the fall for you as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for just putting all that together in one spot for us. And then that's all I have. Thank you again, Dr. Hinton.
Thank you.
Dr. Cashwell.
Thank you. And again, continue to be so impressed by the leadership Dr. Hinton and team provide around the strategic plan work, but then the entire Henrico team for rolling up their sleeves and getting the work done. So while the steering committee kind of guides that effort, we know that our staff and students and families engaged in the work are the ones making it happen. And we're so grateful to see progress and look forward to the next update there.